was a movement. A male crouched, muttering. Nazir told himself not to panic, to be calm, collected, clever. He was safe here. He was surrounded by people. Police, reporters were coming. Nothing bad could happen, except more long days in transit. He and Mariam had been stuck at Keleti station for 5 days, a halt in a journey that had lasted 3 weeks. They had fled Aleppo at night, crossing the front lines, taken a taxi to Damascus, another to Beirut, flown to Istanbul, then travelled overland by bus and foot through Bulgaria, Serbia, and Hungary. And here, at least, nobody was trying to gas or shoot them, or even arrest them. They had made it to Europe. Not quite the West, but certainly Central Europe. The terminus's yellow paint was fading. Its waiting room was dark and gloomy, its roof cracked. But Keleti was still a symbol of empire and Budapest's place at the heart of the continent. A couple of days ago, he and Mariam had spent an hour staring at the departure board, dreaming of a new life in the West. On a normal day, trains left here for Berlin, Vienna, Paris, Munich. But these were not normal times. 24 hours ago, the government had closed the western border to the migrants. All international trains were cancelled, although the local lines were still running. That didn't matter to the migrants, as they were not even allowed inside the station building. A line of riot police stood in front of the entrance. Every few minutes they moved aside to let the early morning commuters through, then stepped back into place, their arms crossed, their faces impassive. Nazir drained the water bottle, heard the man's voice again, and then lay very still. The fatigues and pistol, his long beard, were gone. He was clean-shaven now, wore jeans, blue Nike trainers and a T-shirt, held an iPhone. Could have been any one of hundreds of middle-aged men from Syria or Iraq or Afghanistan camped out at Keleti as they trekked through Europe. But it was him. The puckered scar above his right ear, a burn from an incendiary bomb, decided the matter. Mariam stirred, as if sensing Nazir's unease, muttered something, then returned to her sleep. Nazir slid deeper into his sleeping bag, hiding his face. He tried to listen, focusing hard, could catch the inflections of the man's Aleppo accent, but not the words. Nazir watched through half-closed eyes as the 2 men to whom he was talking sat up and gathered their rucksacks. Where were they going? Nazir looked at the line of taxis that stood by the side entrance to the station. The ride to the Austrian border cost €500. He knew 3 families who had paid. 2 had been dumped in the countryside, 30 miles from Budapest, picked up by the police and promptly sent to a holding camp. The 3rd had been left 15 miles from the frontier. They had also been arrested, but were released after paying another €500 to the police and had made it across. 2 days ago, the elder son had sent an SMS from Vienna. For now, there was nothing to do at Keleti except wait and watch. One of the taxi drivers he saw was also looking at the 3 men. Nazir had noticed her on the 2nd day, firstly because she was a woman and seemed to be the only female working the station. She was in her early 30s, Nazir guessed, tall, with shoulder-length, dark blonde hair, brown eyes, and an easy smile. Secondly, because she never seemed to have a fare. Every time Nazir looked, she was there, smoking, laughing, chatting with the other drivers, and she was friendly, unusually so. Nazir had exchanged pleasantries a few times with her when he'd gone for a walk. Her name, she said, was Ildiko. Nazir had been a silversmith in Aleppo. The cheap jewellery, rings, and bangles that Ildiko wore somehow did not suit her. The last time they chatted, he realized that she was also surprisingly well informed about what was happening at Keleti. The territorial divisions between the Arabs, Africans, and Afghans, and even the squabbles between the Syrian opposition groups.